So you felt kind of, you had some closure then of some sort.
Yeah.
So you had closure, you completely believed that she was gone. And then that's when you said, isn't it, that sort of, that very well-known quote, she's actually probably better off where she is now than in the hands of those people.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about what you said now? Just take yourself back to that moment.
I still stand by what I said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously I'm extremely grateful that she's alive after all that and back in her arms. Fortunately, whatever faction of kidnappers she was with, they didn't abuse her. As far as I know, so far. I mean, Emily's not talking yet, so I don't know any of the details. But they didn't hit her.
Yeah.
You know, they might have used heavy commands and instructions and pushed or pulled her along from house to house, because she wasn't actually in the tunnels.
She wasn't?
No.
Because you said all along that you thought she was in some tunnel somewhere.
Yeah,
But,
so
where was she?
They were running from the army from house to house, just staying one step ahead of the army.
Did she experience any gunfire running under fire? Or she did?
Of course,
That must have been absolutely terrifying for her.
yeah, being led by strangers, running to the next derelict, rundown building. Yeah, that wouldn't have been a welcome sight. With gunfire and whatever noises would be in the background.
And do you know how many times she was moved?
No, not at all. But I think a lot, from what I'm gathering. It will all come out from her later, hopefully.
Yes, I'm sure. It's early though, isn't it? It's early.
Yeah. She can barely talk.
No. Is she kind of that traumatised that she can't really get into that at the moment?
Yeah, she doesn't even call Gaza Gaza. She doesn't want us to call it Gaza. She wants us to call it Kufsa, box.
Box.
She was in. She says we were in the box, like the whole of Gaza is the box. She won't let us call it Gaza. I don't.
What does she mean by that? Is that because she was kept in rooms there?
Yeah, presumably. Yeah, the whole of Gaza was just a box or a series of boxes to her.
What did you say about the people holding her? Were they armed or were they?
She hasn't said anything about that. No, not at all.
Okay. But you said that they didn't mistreat her physically. Did they feed her okay? Or?
Obviously not.
Yeah, she lost a lot of weight, didn't she?
You know, she used to have little 8-year-old chubby, roundy cheeks.
Yeah.
But now she's chiseled like me. Pointy chin, high cheekbones.
How much weight has she lost?
We don't know. I don't know yet. We'll have to work it out.
And what about nourishment? Is she not sick in any way? She's sort of.
The hospital have given her multivitamins and B1. Yeah, so B1 is the main thing that she's lacking, and multivitamins for general.
And was she kept sort of in the dark and low light, or?
Yeah, it must have been because she's pale.
She's very pale, is she?
Yeah. And it's funny. It emphasises her big blue eyes because
yes,
she's lost all the weight. She's whiter, so her blue eyes are like popping.
But the blue eyes are still there. Is there still a sparkle in those eyes, or?
When she was first handed over, no, it was very glassy, very shocked and glassy, traumatised, glassy. But yeah, the life is coming back to him. Yeah, you can see the life coming back into her.
Well, that's what we have to hope, isn't it?
How we'll get her back. Doesn't matter how long it takes, we'll get her back properly. When she first came back, it was astonishing how quiet she was speaking. They obviously forced them all to be very quiet.
Dear me.
I had to literally have my ear on her lips to be able to hear anything. It was just literally a whisper. Even that's loud. Almost just moved her lips with no volume coming out, no air coming out, just.
She was talking incredibly quietly because she'd been commanded to be silent, I guess, or quiet the whole time.
Or like do not be heard, and they had to talk in a very, very low whisper. A whisper you can hear, but it was literally just moving her lips with no volume coming out at all.
And she got used to talking like that in the past 50 days.
Yeah.
So do you say she would put you're so quiet when you first got her back, she was putting her lips right to your ear and talking so quietly?
Well, she wouldn't come to me. I put my ear on her.
Yeah. So that's you notice the weight, you notice that. I mean, this tells you a little bit of the story about the psychological damage and the difficulty you might have to rebuild her, you know.
Yeah, an example, like a clue as to how she was treated, what her condition is.
Yeah. Have you noticed any other changes at all? The weight and the voice? And does she seem
she's eating like a horse now.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah, we actually have to keep a lid on it because her stomach has shrunk, but she's hungry. So we have to be careful that she doesn't overeat and give herself some other damage.
What does she like to eat?
Her favourite is sushi.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in an instant, sushi.
So she's eating like a horse, and she's a bit better in herself now, anyway.
She's slowly, getting a bit louder. Like I can hear her from a metre away now. That's good.
I noticed that you were hugging her very, very tightly when you first got hold of her. You must have felt, I don't want to let her go ever again, you know.
No. I'm going to become an overprotective dad.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it must be hard to let her out of your sight, isn't it?
Yeah. The only reason I'm here is because I know she's with Natalie and Aidan, so very safe hands. And I'm going to have to work on that, obviously.
Now, what about this birthday? I mean, you told us that you believed at the time she was having her birthday in a tunnel, but she in fact had it presumably in some kind of a safe house that she was being moved to, or as safe as you can be in Gaza. But
some derelict building somewhere. Yeah.
But that must have concerned you. Now you know what she went through, because she's above ground and the bombs were falling, weren't they?
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't know that.
Yeah.
During. I knew
Yeah.
she was safe underground in the tunnels, because those tunnels are built very deep and very strong. They are the safest place in Gaza.
Yeah.
Just for the Hamas.
Now that birthday that we spoke about, I mean, are you going to have a party now, or you got a plan, or what are you going to do?
I don't know. We have to get her out of the hospital first.
Yeah, she's still in the hospital now.
She'll be coming out very, very soon, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is she being assessed psychologically now as well as physically?
But because she's so traumatised, doesn't want to talk, they can't actually do that type of counselling where they'd be talking to her and try and extract information from her. That would be too traumatic for her. So it's more observation.
Was there much laughter and tears when you met? I mean, I presume it was emotional for you both, but
she was very, very quiet. She didn't say a word. She just ran to me and hugged me. Yeah, she was in a state of shock. First of all, she was in a shock because she believed I had been kidnapped, which was a surprise.
She didn't know until she saw you.
Yeah, she didn't know. From that morning when she was kidnapped, she doesn't know what's happened to the rest of the kibbutz.
Good God.
At all. It's something I hadn't factored into my head, that she thought that I was also kidnapped.
She must have been so confused.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing here? Her face sort of said. Yeah, she said, I thought you were kidnapped.
She's a pop fan, isn't she? She loves Beyonce.
Yeah, she loves music in every way and form.
Has she been playing that again? Or?
As soon as she got as soon as she was released, she asked for my telephone. And the first thing she did was start looking at Beyonce video. She didn't listen to the but she watched her dancing because
You love the way she
was so
dances.
used to living in quietness. I said, like, the phone was only here, like a foot in front of my face, and I couldn't hear it. I was hungry, she couldn't hear it. So I said, no, and she turned it back down again.
That's odd, isn't it?
Well,
Because she's been told to keep quiet the whole time.
She was making too much noise.
So she's terrified to make noise, basically.
Yeah.
That's going to take time, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just these tiny little hints and clues that you're understanding what conditions she was going through.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, what you've just told me, I mean, you're constantly learning about the way you're going to have to repair the damage, aren't you?
From day one, Raya, Hila, and Emily were together. Thank God.
Yes.
For 50 days, they were all together. Raya was looking after Emily like her own child. You know, like a mother hen.
Dear man.
And then as far as we can figure out, 2 days before the release, they separated them. They separated Raya from her own daughter and Emily's. 2 days before the release. I don't know why they're doing that. That's just more psychological pain that they're inflicting on us. Why?
I mean, you are one of the lucky ones who's very lucky, and you're back with Emily, but some of those stories that we've been picking up on, the inhumanity shown there is...
Just from my kibbutz, there's orphans on the kibbutz. There's little kids running around the Dead Sea Hotel with no parents. There's parents walking around the hotel with no children. Devastating. We're all devastated. We're all grieving for each other. It's just devastating. As soon as Emily is well enough and covered enough and healthy enough, at that point I'm going to find out if Beyonce is touring and doing concerts.
Yep.
And I'm taking her.
No matter where it is.
Where it is in the world now.
Right. This is for your little girl.
Wow.
We've upgraded the teddy bear.
Lovely. She's going to love that. Thank you.
That's great. And it's the least we can do, and hopefully we can perhaps celebrate and see her fit and well soon.